We are so lucky that the concept of meditation is no longer a stranger for many of us. It's not that long ago that people would think that meditating is a strange thing and is reserved only for the gurus and the spiritually devoted people. Now, people really do want to meditate, to calm the mind, to still the mind, and they do this really because they want to, not because of any external factors, but because from within, they've realized and recognized that meditation is the gateway to something bigger, something spiritual, to something that is more than our physical reality. With more and more people than ever meditating, we are really on the tipping point of something big, consciousness-wise. Now, the challenge of meditating is always, first and foremost, the mind. It's easy enough to still the body, but the mind is just very difficult to corral and to still. We live in a world where there are just so much information, and for most of us, we consume those information without limits, without boundaries. So it's only logical that we have so much on our mind, and because the mind has been trained and prodded to the state of always being active, and to always consume information and then process it and then retain it, that it's quite challenging when we want it to do different. When we ask it to stop, when we ask the mind to slow down, to be still, it's quite a challenge. So if you've been meditating for some time, you'll know that wrestling the mind to the ground is a sure way to make it more active. Trying to stop the mind just makes it more busy. So here is the first point we need to accept. We can never stop the mind from thinking. But we can ask it to do what we want instead. We can ask it to think what we want it to think. So this is the first method we need to remember to get around this business of controlling the mind. We ask the mind to think about something else, something slower, something less active, something less busy. And this is why we see a lot of guided meditation that focuses on the breath, focuses on counting, on listening calm and soothing words that takes us someplace else in our mind. All of these are really good and effective methods because instead of fighting the mind head on and telling it to stop, these methods are subtler. It's asking, or actually redirecting the mind to a desired direction. It's like Tai Chi or Aikido in a way, where you don't fight the force, but redirect it and use it to your advantage. So what do we ask the mind to think of? This is easy. We ask the mind to think of truth, spiritual truth. But I'm jumping ahead a little bit because this is actually step 2. So let's start from the beginning. There are many meditations guides out there, but what I'm sharing here is what works for me, where I can sit down and in a very short period of time have a still mind and sit in the peace of allness. I see this technique as the 3 anchors. The first anchor is the posture. This is our first attempt to redirect the mind, to focus on the body, on our physical body. And to be more specific, in this case, to focus on our third eye. So sit down in a comfortable position. It can be on a cross-legged or lotus position on the floor, or on a comfortable supported chair or a sofa, etc. But the point is that the head needs to be up as if you are standing. The head needs to be straight up. Lying down will not work. Not for this purpose anyway. So once you're in your chosen position, relax into it and close your eyes. Now we need to access our third eye or alpha. And the easiest way to access and maintain alpha state is while you are sitting straight, tuck in your chin down and then focus on your third eye. You'll notice an immediate shift in the feeling and the surrounding of space around you. This is your first anchor, the third eye. the reason why it's easier to focus on your third eye with your chin tucked in is because when you look down, your eye automatically looks up into your third eye. You can feel that you are looking straight into your third eye. So this is a very comfortable position that you can hold for long periods of time without efforting. Now try the difference. Lift up your head again straight, and now focus on your third eye. You will feel that there's more energy needed to focus on the point between your eye and your third eye. The line of sight for accessing alpha is said to be 20 to 30 degrees upward. What we are doing is sort of a hack. Instead of looking upward, we tuck our chin down and we look straight. The effect is the same but easier. Now at this point, once you have accessed alpha and you feel things shift around you, you can start meditating. But I like to add another anchor to sustain the state. You'll notice that tucking in your chin is a very similar position to how people pray in various religions. They bow their head and then they pray. We naturally find ways to connect to Source because that's what we're all looking for. Step 2. We ask the mind to think about spiritual truth. This is where we redirect the mind, and this is our second attempt at it. Which spiritual truth do you use? It's up to you. But what works for me is God is the source of my being. Or life is eternal. These are my two go-tos, affirmation or statements, to get me deeper into the meditation of spiritual truth. Once you are here, you can continue to be here and just enjoy the stillness. But we have a third step which will secure you even further in the state of meditation. The third anchor is to ask the mind to listen. Adopt an attitude that you are listening and you are expecting to hear something from Source. This really plunges us deep into meditation, because once you decide that you are going to listen, automatically you tune out everything else around you. And the point is that in this state of waiting, you tune out everything around you. You are in a state of readiness to receive. Imagine the scene as an analogy. You're in your office and it's loud. Sounds of people walking and talking, phones ringing, printers humming and churning out printouts, and chairs moving and doors opened and closed, and all of that. Then your phone rings. And it's from a very important person that you've been waiting for. You've been waiting for an instruction from this person. You pick up your phone, and then, despite of all the noise around you, you are able to hone in and focus on the call, and you can listen to what's being said. Everything else around you has faded into the background and into irrelevance. This is what the attitude of listening gives you. It gives you focus. This is what the third anchor helps us do, to focus on receiving. And in the active effort to listen, we stop all the thoughts inside our head because we want to concentrate on what is going to be said. All of your other thoughts are going to be momentarily put on hold because you have decided that the most important thing at this moment is to listen and receive the instruction. I have another phrase that I use here to put me in the state of listening, and it's the Christian Bible verse of "Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth." This really puts me in listening and receiving mode and lets everything else falls away. Now, whether you do hear or you don't hear something is not the point, but you have put yourself into this receiving mode, and after some consistent practice, who knows, you might hear something. So that's it. That is my method for meditating. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know.